Happens this time. I'm going to try this again. If I go off again, if something happens and the stream ends again, I will be on here tomorrow at 1 and again on Monday back at 8 a.m. on Monday. But I'm sitting over here. I rebooted my modem, the current modem that I have. I keep telling y'all this stuff, and I don't know why, because you probably don't really care about all the technical stuff that I'm going through. And the new equipment is still not here yet. So prayerfully, that will come through today. But as it stands, I've made a few adjustments in the background of the software, and I am attempting, just attempting to make this work once again. So we'll see if it works. It works, and if it doesn't, I'll see you on either tomorrow afternoon or I will see you on Monday. So I will tell you guys, I love serendipitous stuff that happens to me. Yesterday, when I was driving, I turned on the radio, which is what I normally do. I have the radio on as I'm driving, like most people, but I always listen to the radio station that I'm on, 95.9 FM in Cleveland. And there's a mix of things that happen throughout the day. So in the morning time, there's Jay, the gospel kid, and he does his shows in the morning time, and then TC comes on, and then they have music, and then they have talk, and then music and talk, and it sort of fluctuates all throughout the day. Well, anyway, when I got in the car yesterday, must have been after 3, didn't know what was going to be on, but what came on, y'all know I've been talking about, I'm going to be teaching this class, and the details are not up yet, just yet, but they will be up. Anyway, I was listening, and there was a guy from Canton, Ohio. Well, he's not from Canton, Ohio. He's from Dallas, Texas. And he was talking about that they are going to do, the symphony orchestra there is going to do a program, and it is going to be on a book that I have been looking for, 1001 Nights, Arabian Nights. And it is, I was just so excited because that's a book that I have been scouring some of the some of the things that I already have, trying to find this book. Anyway, it is happening on Sunday. And I'm really like in one of those things as to whether or not I am going to go down there for this. It's probably about a 45 minutes drive. And I hate to drive myself only because my bedtime is like 10 o'clock. If I'm pushing it, it's 10 o'clock. And so if I go, I'm always mindful of driving while sleepy. But I would really love to go to this particular concert. And I want to, this thing is called, what is it called? It is called 1001 Arabian Nights, and I'm excited for it because it's something that I've been reading about, and It would be wonderful. I just think that when things come up serendipitous like that, it is like a call for me. It's pulling me. But I am so and I guess in full disclosure, the one of the reasons why I am so hesitant, because I could certainly go down there and drive myself there, but one of the reasons why I'm so hesitant is while I talked about, good morning, Tammy, how are you, beautiful? It seems like something just happened. Oh, you're having a party, right? You're having a birthday party. Yay, happy birthday. Happy birthday, beautiful. Um, so while I talk about the blessings of Vipassana, and I went to that silent 10-day meditation retreat in Detroit. Well, the meditation, we were waking up at 4:30 in the morning to be on a mat by 5 a.m. and meditating. And this went on for 10 days. And so on the day that it was time to leave, we woke up at our normal time. We did the first meditation, we did breakfast, and then we broke the place down, cleaning up so that everybody could go home. Well, on my way home, I'm driving myself home in the same car that I have now. I'm driving myself home and I fell asleep on the highway. Now, it used to be that I was always like, I don't know, those ridges on the side of the highway saved my life. I and when I woke up, I woke up because I hit the ridges on the side of the highway because my car had veered over, and I woke up and it's like I pulled the car as and I'm pulling back onto the highway because I was going off in the weeds. Good morning, Erica. And so I was pulling off into the weeds and I snatched back and I realized that I had drifted past a big 18-wheeler truck. It was daytime and I literally fell asleep while I was driving. And so now I don't trust myself to drive when I'm sleepy. But I would, yeah, it's crazy. But I would love to go to Canton to hear this concert. But I just, I don't like to drive myself now past what I know is a comfortable time, because that scared the bejesus out of me, as they would say. Um, wait a minute, Erica. Your friend stays in Canton, doesn't she? I think so. Anyway, so that's what I'm considering going to hear that particular symphony, 1001 Arabian Nights, at the Canton Symphony. It's cantonsymphony.org. Is where I found out more information, but I just happened to be in my car at the time when they were talking about that yesterday, and I had been wanting to go. So yeah, and it's funny because I tell people, it's been a while since that happened, but when I tell folks that I don't go out at night like I used to, it's in part because I'm always looking at, ooh, what time am I gonna have to drive home and where will I be driving from? Because I just, I don't even want to talk about that. It's like I don't want to blame that on anything other than just yeah, wisdom, experience, all of that good stuff. Whatever. I'm getting better too. I am. When I say I'm getting better, I like me at this stage, right? I love me at this stage. I'm loving me. I'm loving me, and I hope y'all are loving you, right? I think that everybody should be so blessed with the love affair of them, with the of themselves, just all over your, like hot butter all over your body. Speaking of which, And then I'm going to read these things. I don't know what's going on with my speed or not, but and then I'm going to read my daily guides. But let me tell you, so on Thursday I did the show with Dr. Brown, and we talked about the lawsuit based on perms, hair straightening perms and products. And we were talking about how those things are not regulated by the FDA. And so the things that, because there is a correlation between fibroids and uterine cancer with hair care products, Black women's hair straightening products. He says that, they didn't necessarily have to, they don't have to give you all of the ingredients in there, but there is something that caused these things to happen in women and our uteruses. Our uteri. I don't know how you make a uterus plural. However, and so one of the things that Kimberly, who is not only just an amazing woman, she is also my yoga instructor and founder of My Village Yoga. She's got a cohort beginning, and that's one of the reasons why I will not be available. I'm going to go through yoga teacher training. Right? I get so much joy out of that. Anyway, she told me, she was like, we can use just about anything that is, if you use things that are natural or in your kitchen, things that you avoid some of those cancer causing things that are not screened out of stuff that you might buy in health and beauty aid section. And so, on that thing on Thursday, she listed stuff to use instead of lotion, or like I'm a baby oil person. It's like I slide some oil to me. I tell ya, it's like a musical sometimes. And Tammy, that is so right? You are the one who, and I don't even know if she's still on here looking. But I remember back in the day, Tammy used to belt out that the song Home from the Wiz, but that Slide Some Oil to Me was also on the Wiz, and Nipsey Russell sung that, I think, and talking about his body. And that was one of the things that Kimberly said is, instead of using things that you are not sure about, whether it's the lotions or whatever it is, to use things that are basically all natural. So shea butter, cocoa butter, things like that what's actually in there, instead of things that we are questioning. So so that Slide Some Oil to Me. I put on coconut oil today, so I'm smelling yummy. Anyway, so let me and come to see this. Oh, how many wonderful people's birthdays it is today. So this one is, I'm going to read for you from out of the Daily Guides, Science of Mind Daily Guides. This one is entitled Happy Birthday, Ernest Holmes. I could say Happy Birthday, Herman Bishop. Happy birthday, Tammy Kenny Cox. Happy birthday, all of you wonderful, amazing people. Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, just happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. We are celebrating this weekend's birthdays. Aquarius, Larry Floyd, all of y'all. Happy birthday. So the first quote that she uses here, this is Marilyn Louise Leo that wrote this one. The first quote that she used here is, she says, "I also wish you to know how much of true happiness you have caused to come into my life, and to let you know that your father felt the same." Oh, that's beautiful. And let's see. And that is by Anna Columbia Health Holmes, Mother of a Mystic. And so from Ernest Holmes, the man, she uses this quote. It says, we look upon the objective form of God in the mountain, the sunset, the glory of the storm, the strength of the wind and waves, and the thing in us that does the looking is the indwelling presence. Yes, yes, yes. So, happy birthday, Ernest, is what this says. Today we celebrate your birthday and your life. I could say this my dad too. Happy birthday, Herman Bishop. Even though he's gone. Today I celebrate your birth and your life. You taught yourself and you learned from great masters of the past, from universal principles and from intuition and master teachers. You became a master teacher. You borrowed from others, giving them credit, and created a teaching for all of humanity, enabling people to be the masters of their own lives. You gave us lessons in healing ways. Oh my goodness. You took what could be complicated and simplified the principles so that everyone could understand and learn how to change their lives for the better. You asked questions of others to learn if your reasoning was sound. You listened. You told us to challenge ourselves, to try putting these science of mind ideas to work, to heal, to create happier lives for ourselves and for others. You taught us that we are all one. We all came from the same infinite mind and are the essence of infinite presence. We are so deeply grateful, she says, for all of your teachings as we continue to equate love, joy, beauty, harmony, and abundance with life everlasting. We continue to remain open at the top. Yes, yes, yes. As you requested, staying open to the experience of spirit, showing us more of who we are and what we are here to do. And so the affirmation that goes with this is I am open to life's gifts and appreciate every moment I have to share them. And so it is. What a wonderful testament. What a wonderful sharing or gifting to someone who has enriched the lives of so many others. And actually, you know, as I was reading that, I was thinking to myself, that's what I aspire to be and to do, to you know, impart something to somebody that just lifts their day. You know, if my life can be a blessing to others, that would be oh so wonderful. If it's just one, right? And sometimes it's like I know that it's so aspirational to do it on a daily basis, but that's what I aspire to. You know, just a wealth of information, of sharing, of self-reflection, of just coming and letting whatever this is flow through me as it does, knowing that, oh, I was put here for this purpose. You know, I don't know exactly what all anybody else is here to do, what, you know, what you're inspired to do, all of that. I don't know for anybody else, but I know for me, ooh, talk about joy bells, joy bells, joy bells. That is what gives me joy. So I'm sending out love and light and just blessings to you. Blessings to you. Blessings to you. Oh man, you know, there's so much. I'm sitting up here like, dang, I'm talking about maybe it's the total reclamation of possibilities that propel us forward, right? Sometimes we cannot because we believe we cannot, right? Whatever that might be. So even with my talking about some of the things that keep me from pushing forward, it's in the doing, I think, that we develop the confidence to keep it moving, to push forward, to push through, and to do something amazing and something new. This is good. This is good. Okay, so it's interesting. Today is Today I have so much that is bombarding me to think about and talk about. One of the things that I do yesterday was interesting. I was at a store and I was really trying my best to stay in my own lane, so to speak. You guys, we all have something that we are called to do, right? And knowing what you are called to do is part of each of our journeys. Sometimes what we do is we keep trying to shove something back into a box that is so much bigger than what we know. And we do that because we're trying to make other people comfortable, right? Comfortable with, who am I to say? Who am I to go up to them and say such and such? Who am I to? Because what the way I started out with this, I was at a store, and the way I started out with this woman that was ringing me up, I go up to her and I was like, I don't have any kids. And she looks at me like, do you want some? Don't know why that was her response, but she asked me if I wanted some. And I thought, no, I was not saying that because I wanted some. I said that because I need to stay out of other people's business, right? I was witnessing something and I had the idea, if they only knew what this would do to this person long term, would he still talk to his son in that kind of way? And I'm thinking, mind my business, right? Mind your business. Mind your business. And so I wanted to get off of the thought. I wanted to reel back in my thinking about it. And so I was expressing out loud, like, I don't have any children, Sandra. Not only that, none of that was mine. None of it was mine. But yet and still, I found myself in a position where I had a desire to say something. And I had to tell myself, like, shut up, shut up, shut up. I think that, we all do that at times. And what is ours to do? What is our role to play? And when is it necessary that we make comment or have commentary about something? You guys, I am constantly one of the things that I look down at as I'm talking to you and as I'm prepping for the class that I'm to teach, that I'm going to be teaching around the storied life. That is, I keep saying it like I'm not sure of what the name of the class is going to be, but that is what is resonating with me, the storied life. In part because I think that it is through the power of story that we come to see our own stories more clearly. If and when I share, I'm always talking about how that there are times when there is an idea or an example that I share that it seems as though it is unreachable. Unreachable until, of course, you put it in terms of a story. Like once I explained that I fell asleep on the highway, I woke up and when my tires hit the ridges, still had grass and weeds and stuff. I managed to go far enough over that I still had that stuff in my bumper, caught up in, got stuck in my car. And so it's one of the reasons why I'm always thinking about the time when I go out, because I'm thinking about the drive back home and when I'll be sleepy or whatever. So me telling you the story behind that hopefully helps clarify some of my hesitancy when it comes down to going out and doing things in the evening, especially if I'm the one driving. And so when we put stories around stuff, it helps us to see more clearly. And sometimes if you put yourself in the midst of the story, instead of thinking that that's what happened to Sandra, sometimes what we do is we think like, oh yeah, it might not be falling to sleep that is my fear. It could be that you have been blinded by headlights, or you've got another reason. Sometimes it's just because you don't have to, right? That we start to shift around and not do the things that we might have done before. And so often we think that we've got to press forward and keep doing what we've always done, instead of stopping and saying, yeah, I don't have to do what I've always done. Um, yeah. So, my apologies to you guys, because I'm still having some issues over here. So Brian, good morning. Juan, good morning. um, yeah, Tammy, all of that. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know if this is I don't know why I'm not seeing the comments come up on my, as a matter of fact, there's a lot of stuff that's not happening over here. So I'm going to see if I can hit refresh, and hopefully this won't take me down. Hopefully this will just refresh my screen so I can see things that are coming through, and hopefully it won't have an impact on your ability to see me or view me or anything else like that, because this is actually going through the stream, and the other piece is just secondary. So love and blessings. Oh, yay, 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 Tammy. And so I just I love, 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 love. So Juan, good morning. Do all the good that you can. Yeah, we all got to be about the business of doing what it is that we are led to do. I don't even know what you were laughing so hard about, Tammy. Was it when you were singing how you used to sing? Oh my gosh, girl, and got a voice. I tell you, I am always telling folks that we got to use our gifts. We got to use our gifts. Use our gifts. Because they weren't given to us for us alone, right? They were given to us for the world. So, when I think when we recognize that, we start to hopefully use whatever it is, and all of us have gifts, all of us do. So it's just learning that we're supposed to use them. So now when I talk about this thing of stories, it's really interesting because I a lot of times pull off of off of different stories that I've heard throughout time. This concert in Canton was based on a story called 1001 Arabian Nights, which was a beautiful story, from what I understand, of stories that were basically just one more night kind of cliffhangers to keep, women alive. And I get really interesting information, pushback, feedback from people who have, who have thoughts about, do I want to say other people's calling and other people's journey? Why do we stand in opposition to things over which we have no control? We stand in opposition to things and try to should on somebody else what you should or should not do, or how you should think or feel about a particular thing. You get so many people that do that. And to what end? To what end? To suppress, to oppress, to to be the authority to know more, or is it an effort, as we might couch it, to keep somebody else safe? Whatever the case may be, each of us, what is that soap opera called? Each of us has one life to live, and living that to its fullest is what we each need to do, right? To show up in a way that only we can. I mean, if I could belt out, a song like Home, I would, but I could say slide some oil to me, right? Cause you, hopefully, if you remember The Wiz, you remember that song. If you have those moments where you are thinking, just believe in yourself, right? Which was the story that was part of that whole thing. Whatever it is that is yours to do, whatever you feel inspired to do, don't let somebody else dull your shine, as Winnie might say. Shine forth and do what it is that you do. Be big and bodacious and bold about it, right? Not because you're trying to be more than or better than, but because you were put here, to bring forth the glory of the God, right? To bring forth that. And as you step into that awareness, it's so good. So when I look down at my little trusty book here in front of me, I turn to this suit called the Wands. And the Wands is part of this wonderful, what do I call it? Divination of cards that I sometimes refer to. And wand is all about imagination. I am always talking about how we need to begin again to imagine the possibilities. What does it mean for you to imagine something different for your life? Don't let somebody tell you what you can and cannot do based on some arbitrary stuff, like what you ought to wear because of the age that you are. Forget that, right? Forget that. Do you, boo? I just think that it is so important that we learn how to give ourselves the permission that we need in order to shine the brightest. So this idea of imagination is something that I think all of us can stand to exercise and strengthen at certain points in our life. What's the last thing that you imagined for yourself, right? I mean, just reached out and imagined something out of something extraordinary out of the ethers, right? I don't know. Is it that you imagine a trip or a vacation or a body weight or a sexual experience or a job or traveling? If you imagined what your divine right place of residence was, where would that be? If you designed or imagined what you would make money doing that you absolutely loved, what would that be? If you imagine talking to just one of the greats of antiquity, right? What kind of conversation would you have? If you were Adam or Eve walking through the Garden of Eden, what would be the conversation you would have? I mean, when you think about or imagine something different for yourself, when's the last time you stirred up that ability to imagine, to have an imaginal conversation with somebody and intuit what they might say? I don't know, but for me, my intuition is strengthened by my ability to move into spaces that I have never been in before. Sometimes it is that I have this awareness that let me tell you one of the things that I've done in the past. That sometimes I had this feeling, this impression one time that, I look at people, I look at you, I see you. And then I got this prompting at one point to, okay, now you've seen them. You've seen them with your eyes directly in front of you. Now close your eyes and see them again. And when I did that, when I revisited the image of that person, like in my memory bank, what I could see them was differently than how I looked at them head on. So when I looked at them head on, I saw a person in, just like you're seeing me now, in this totality of who I am. But when I remembered them, when I looked at them and then I looked away and I reflected on that, I could see dullness in their energy. I could see I could see things that were missing in their energetic body. It's almost like looking at somebody and seeing the dull places as well as the vibrant ones, which got me to thinking to myself, like, man, is that maybe, people used to say that if we wanted to see auras, what you do is you look not directly at a person, but really looking past them, like you're looking beyond them in order to see what it is that you need to see. But you can't do that when you have this idea in your mind that everything is solid and abstract. You can't absorb things when you're looking at everything as if it has to be 3D. Sometimes you have to look and look and capture in a very different way. It's part of using your intuition. It's part of using your imagination. It's part of being sensitive enough to say that I want to see all of what's before me and not just the parts that I agree with. Now, I'm not saying that this is your calling or something that you want to develop in yourself. But sometimes what happens is you begin to understand the ways that conversations weave in and out of things because they're supposed to. Like, even as I talk and I hear myself responding to things that are coming into me, but I don't exactly know or have an intent to talk about them. But now here this is coming, and often I'm thinking to myself, wonder who needed to hear that, or wonder why that's coming up now. And so when I look down and I see this idea of this imagination, it says it represents one of the number 3. 7 times 3, we're at day 21. The number 3 represents initial completion, a cause for celebration. And today is truly a cause for celebration. And it seems as though, once we embark on this new journey, it seems as though everything is going according to plan. But while we recognize that things are beginning to come together, things are beginning to happen, there's still a lot of work to do ahead as we move forward, for each and every one of us. Sometimes things come out of the blue that we may not have thought about before, but it doesn't mean that you aren't well prepared and the person to do that particular job. Don't stand in resistance, right? That's what, that's what this idea is if we don't stand in resistance, if we allow ourselves to kind of move through things and see what it has for us, we will, this thing comes together. It'll be successful. It'll be what we need it to be, right? So, so don't get dismayed. Don't get, discouraged because things don't go exactly according to plan. Because it's the initial part. It's that the things that we embark upon, sometimes it'll take us on a circuitous path. For some reason, this idea of The Wiz is coming back at me. So Dorothy, in The Wiz, I'm going to talk about this for just a second and then I'm going to let you go because it's time for me to go. Dorothy set out on a journey. She wasn't really trying to go on a journey, right? As a matter of fact, she had been telling her Auntie M that she didn't want to go anywhere, right? I'm satisfied right where I'm at. As a matter of fact, there was a certain amount of fear and trepidation about the changes that can be coming forth. And her aunt was trying to do like birds do, push her out of the nest and say, hey, it's time to go. Now, there are times on our lives, this initial stage, we reach it, right? It sometimes looks like retirement, right? It may look like a new job. It may look like a new class or certification that you want, or you decide, man, I got some talent and I haven't used it. Wonder if I go back and I take those piano lessons, or wonder if I go back and I take voice class. Wonder if I go back and I learn how to play the guitar. Wonder if I move to a different area. All of these things become this, some point, an initiation point of starting from, where you are to move into a space that you desire to be. And so this story in The Wiz, Dorothy was at a place where everybody was encouraging her to move beyond where her comfort zone was. And she was like, oh, no, can't do that. Don't want to do it, blah, blah, blah. And so she ended up chasing after her little dog. She ended up, and I love the image of the dogs because I've got two of them myself, and I understand how the care for sometimes makes you lose track of the sense of safety for yourself. That's with anything, right? Anything that you love, sometimes you forget about your own physical needs, your own physical safety, and you go trying to what you think is rescuing them. But really, she was rescuing herself. So she runs out trying to chase after this little dog, gets caught up in a storm, and gets, jetted to the land of Oz. And when she lands in Oz, of course, the whole story. And so this was an initiation of a journey. And she started pulling in the parts of herself that she needed to develop. Michael Jackson and, or, whether we're talking about the Wizard of Oz or the Wiz, she started pulling in him, and he was like, oh, if I only had a brain. And then if I only had a heart, and then if I only had courage. She started pulling in these pieces of her that she needed, right? And then all together, she's taking these things. It's as if you could think of this as a moving prayer, right? She was taking in the pieces of herself that she needed to develop, that she needed to bring into fruition. And a lot of times through story, what we don't realize is we can see it as it is in a story, but we don't necessarily see it in our own lives. We don't necessarily see that we're the protagonists of our own story. That even as we go along talking about what we want, we're the person that's batting it down every time it comes our way. We're getting rid of it, so to speak, because it's this idea, first off, that we don't know that we're our own worst enemy. We don't know that that part that was trying to come to us was a necessary part. We're saying that we want something, but we can't see it in the way that it comes. And so a lot of times we're busy, not that, not yet, not you, not this, not that. We're busy trying to keep ourselves safe because we think that that's what we need to do. But wonder if what we're doing is we're blocking our own blessings and we don't even know it. And so this idea of moving through these spaces and seeing what comes up or what comes through, because sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes things come to you because you've called them. But when they show up, you don't like the packaging that it comes in. Can you think about it in terms of, let's see, when you think about it in terms of relationships, that's easy. When we think about it in terms of a new position, or even our health, right? We got, so many people have these health challenges that we don't even want to see it. We don't want to look at it. We kind of know that something is askew or not quite right, but we don't want to, to look at it is, it's kind of scary, right? It can be a little scary. Sometimes when I am going to sleep at night, I am paying attention to what I feel drawn to in my body. Last night, I slept with my hand over my heart, and I don't know if it's just because I needed to send myself love, or if it was this, this energy that was pulling me there. Sometimes we got to just, ask our body what it needs from us. And we assume that we know. We hear the doctor say, oh, get more exercise, or, oh, you need to, watch this intake or watch that intake. And sometimes we, there's a part of us that is fearful of stuff. Dr. Brown said something interesting a couple of weeks ago. He said, when we were talking about health, and he said that, men are a little hesitant about, going to the doctor and finding out things. He says, and women, on the other hand, can be so worrisome that they create things. And I thought, that's an interesting kind of way of looking at it. He said, we are so preoccupied that we create illness. My grandmother, I used to think that my grandmother did that. I used to say that my grandmother was a hypochondriac, and she would create stuff that, because she didn't want somebody else to have something that she didn't have. And so it seemed to me like she would be creating stuff. So when you think about all the things that we could be experiencing, there is a parts of us, there's a part of you, maybe a part of me, that stand in resistance to what it is that we really want. Now, my friend, I got friends that will tell you that they believe that I sit in resistance to the good that tries to come to me. They say, Sandra, that's what you do. They will tell me that is what I do, that I say no. Whether it's true or not, when I don't know that it's anything that that I'm fearing. But I think that when I feel a yes, I have the courage to say yes. And up until that, I don't have no problem with saying no, right? I don't know, but only you know. So this idea of this initiation stage, don't be afraid, right? If you feel that there is something that is calling you, something that is calling you forth into a new experience, you know, sometimes sometimes we regret the chances that we don't take more so than the ones that we do. I will tell you, there are so many people that I know who, if they had the chance to do it all again, they might choose differently. So why not? Right? Why not go for bold? Why not go for daring? Right? So there is a part of us that when I think about this, when I think about this, say yes to the adventure. Don't. A Course in Miracles says that you will learn. It says the only thing we get to choose is whether we are going to learn through pleasure or through pain. So if what that said to me is that either I can go out and I can meet it and learn in that way, or it can hunt me down and teach me in a different way. And so I refuse to be one that's standing in resistance. I know you might think that I'm resisting, but from my perspective, I'm just being true to myself. And I hope that you are too. All right, y'all. I'm going to get off of here because it's going on 10. I'm past my time allotment that I do. So I'm gonna go, and I appreciate you. I appreciate your watching. If you are on YouTube, like, comment, or subscribe. Thank you for being here. And on Facebook, y'all, I'm here at 1 o'clock. And if you're not following me, follow me, friend me. I'm on here tomorrow at 1 o'clock, Sundays at 1. And again on Monday, I will show up in the 8 o'clock hour. And hopefully I will have all of this speed issues, all of my internet issues all solved and worked out. I know it'd be nice if I didn't have to talk about these things, but I'm keeping it real and just sharing my truth with you. All right. Love you. I hope you have an amazing Saturday. And maybe I'll see you out this weekend. All right. Blessings to you. Bye. And Tammy, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. I have some so good memories. Happy birthday. All right. And I'll see you. Bye. All right. And okay.